All right. Good evening, everyone, and Happy New Year to everybody.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you, Mitch, and your lovely wife and family, and
Yeah,
all 600 of your grandchildren and
right?
kids and all that other stuff. So happy New Year.
No, man. Boy, 2025 hit with a vengeance.
You're not kidding.
I did.
Okay.
I worked Thursday and Friday, and it wasn't real heavy. It was kind of nice. And boy, we walked in today to a buzz saw. You
Yeah.
too?
Oh, well, where do I start? I don't even know where to start with this. Anyway, if you, by the way, we're at the Sun's studio
Okay.
today with the granddaughter. So if you hear
Yeah.
noise in the background,
And
that's her chewing on a chair leg or something like that. I don't know what she's doing. She's doing something.
now
Anyway,
tell me, Jeff, I don't think I've asked you this. Now, are you grandpa? You pops? What's your title?
I am Pop Pop.
Pop pop.
Pop Pop.
Got it.
Probably because I look like a blow pop. So I'm built like a blow pop. So I'm called Pop Pop. That's why I am. I'm Pop Pop.
All right.
Yeah.
Good deal.
All right. So let's get this started and out of
Yeah.
the way here real quick. I wanted to let a lot of people were concerned of our well-being on New Year's Day, and I'm going to tell you why. We were getting texts, or Lydia was getting texts that starting at 6:30 in the morning already in New Year's. We decided to do something we have never done, even when I lived in Louisiana. We never done it. We decided to go to New Orleans for New Year's, and we got down there. We got there first. We went to a coffee call, right? Is that what it's called? Coffee call. We went down to Coffee Call, which is a morning call, which is a beignet shop and coffee shop. It's the second oldest next to the French one that's down. So we decided to stop there, and that was around 8:30 at night. We went down there, like I said, fairly early. We ate there and stuff. So 9:30, 10 o'clock, about 8:30, 9 o'clock. I get down right next and park there where the French market is, right alongside the railroad tracks. If you're familiar with the river and the French market, railroad tracks and the parking lot there, I parked on that back little road there where it says "Don't park" because that's where the vendors park. But who's going to bother you on New Year's Eve with everybody? So I pulled over. Everybody got out, and they decided they're going to go up to Jackson Square and down Bourbon Street and walk around down there. That'll be my wife and my daughter, her boyfriend. Not my wife's boyfriend. He wasn't allowed there.
He wasn't there. Okay.
He wasn't there for the event.
Okay.
But my wife's sister, her husband, and her daughter, their daughter, were decided they're going to walk down Bourbon Street, and I stayed in the truck. Now, some people know this, some people don't. My health right now is terrible. My back is just forget about it, and I can't get my back fixed until I have some other issues taken care of. Okay. So, but anyway, I stayed in the truck, and it was cool. The wind was blowing. It got cool over there. The wind was blowing. It was 60 degrees over there, but with the wind blowing, it felt like it was 20.
Oh yeah,
it was cold. So they all walked down to the Bourbon Street, and they were walking in that area up until about 11:30, 20 up. My daughter and her boyfriend and the kids, they all stayed back at Jackson Square. But when we asked them to come up, we told them to not walk through a certain area there, to go down towards Jack's, which is Jack's Brewery, the old Jack's Brewery down there. It's on the river. And then come down and around that way. Well, we found out we left there at about 1:30, 1:45, something like that is when we left and got out of that area and got back home. We didn't turn on the TV. We didn't news, nothing like that. So when was your first text, Lydia? 6:30, 7 o'clock? 6:30, 7 o'clock. You had Mark Calhoun texted me. We had oh my gosh, so many people different texts. And I'm like, she was like, what are all these texts? Are we okay? Are we okay? Or what's going on? And this and that, and just didn't understand what was going on. So finally, Lydia turned on the news and then found out all this happened.
Yeah.
Later, we found out that where this guy planted these IED bombs were places that my family and their family were hanging around, and during that time they were in Bourbon Street, that this guy was actually planting these bombs at that time.
The small world, man.
He had planned, from what we know. Now, I'll tell you what, one of the best news sources down in New Orleans is NOLA.com, the old NOLA newspaper. If you remember the old NOLA newspaper, they got rid of the newspaper and they're just online. But man, you want to talk about stuff coming up that other people didn't see or didn't know about.
Yeah.
They were very, very good because they were all over the place. Now, the IEDs didn't go off because they weren't connected correctly. We found that out just the past day or so. We also found out that he was in New Orleans prior to this. He wasn't there just that day. We found out today or yesterday as well.
In October, right?
Well, yes, he was in October, and in November or December sometime he came back and was there again. He actually took bicycle footage, which they found he was on a bicycle and taking footage of Bourbon Street and areas. And he actually got 2 or 3 pictures of where he actually placed these IEDs at. The reason they found, people say, well, how'd they find the IEDs? Well, there were people messing with these coolers. And when they opened it up, they said, hey, this doesn't look right. And they did take them to police, and police said, that's a bomb. That's
not a good thing.
Not a good thing. So, but the scariest part of it all was all the areas that this guy contained, up from right there off of Canal Street onto Bourbon. My family was there. The pictures that my daughter has of Bourbon Street is she actually leaned on that machine that's up in the air that the truck crashed into to take a picture of that hotel with the blue banners hanging down all over the place. And what was that place called, Lydia? You remember? The Royal Inn, the Royal Hotel, whatever it is right there. Very fancy hotel. And they were standing there because on both sides of the street on those hotels, they were throwing beads and stuff down there. So that was a very, very high concentrated area. And that's one of the areas where this bomb was. And he knew that it was there. So if they would have stayed there, and let's say this guy decided, or these bombs supposed to be going off, they were supposed to go off between 11:30 and 12:15, according to NOLA police. And you can go to NOLA.com and you can check out what I'm telling you, but that's what it was. So this guy from the Houston area was born in Beaumont. He is an American citizen, born here in the United States, went to the military here, Fort Bragg, as a matter of fact, in the Carolinas. We're just fortunate that nothing happened. It was a very, very scary situation for us. My sister-in-law lives in Louisiana, in Prairieville, Louisiana, about 45 miles north of New Orleans. And for us, it was scary. We left Baton Rouge on Thursday, went into Lafayette to get the gas and drinks and stuff. As we're leaving Lafayette, Louisiana, a big hostage situation happened at the Lafayette Mall 2 minutes after we left. It popped up on our phone that they got the guy, and he was shooting inside. I don't know about the injuries or anything like that. And then we saw the guy with the tractor trailer on I-85 that said there was a bomb on his trailer. Why he said it, we haven't heard a word about that yet. I mean, nothing. I haven't seen anything, nothing. Why would a guy driving a tractor trailer along say have a bomb in it? Doesn't have a bomb in it. Sat in his truck. The police get him. Get him out of his truck. So something happened there. And then Las Vegas happened.
Las Vegas. That was a weird thing.
Now, I'm going to go back to me sitting New Year's, right at New Year's when it went off. I was sitting there on the river. And we were right where the ships come in and the paddle boat and everything is down there. And I said to my wife, I said, you know what? I just don't feel right being here tonight. We've never gone down there ever for New Year's. We hadn't planned on going down because of the way I felt and stuff. But her sister wanted us to come over for dinner for New Year's and said, hey, why don't we go down to New Orleans? And I was like, yeah, okay. I said, I told Lydia I'd rather be home. When this happened, I said, it's not over. right when I found out early in the morning that this happened, I said, it's not over. There's still stuff going to be going on. And it did all day long on New Year's Day. It did all day long. Because if you remember on 9/11, when that happened, there were things happening all over the place all day long. There were different hostage situations, and there was, the other buildings had fallen down or started on fire. There was one thing after another, after another, after another. So all I got to say is, by the grace of God, that we are still here. And the other thing I want to say is, and by all means, I'm not the biggest religious person in the world. But God was looking over us on that day, looking over my family. And this whole thing with ISIS and these other folks and stuff, I talked about this before on the show, where I said Christianity is losing its grip on America. It's really losing its grip, because people are getting more afraid every day to walk outside, to do anything, to breathe, just to drive to the store, and to worry about where they're going to go and what they're going to do, how they're going to live, how they're going to feel, and these people are the kind of people to do this to us. Because if you were in Louisiana that day after that happened, there weren't a lot of people that even wanted to go outside. There's the people, even the people 40 miles north said, no. I went to the Walmart that day, a little after it happened, about 3:00 in the afternoon on New Year's Day. And I went into the Walmart, and that's everybody was talking about, and they were all quiet. And I said, were you folks down there? No, we weren't down there. I said, well, I was. And then everybody comes over. They want to hear what happened. I said, I wasn't there when it happened. We were there just prior to it happening. And it's a scary thing. It's a scary thing. I grew up in the Northeast when 9/11 happened, and the World Trade Centers. I've been in those trade centers. I can't count how many times my grandfather and I used to go in there and go up to the Scenic Tower up top, and the restaurant of the world up top. And, and then for stuff like that to happen, it hits home again when something like that happens. I mean, it messes you up. It really messes you up. And for people that want to come to this country and destroy this country, and that's why I always say, if you don't like where you live, leave. If you don't like where you live, leave. There's nobody holding you here to stay here. There's nobody. If you don't like what we do, leave. I don't like what they do in Africa with beating women, or Afghanistan and Libya and all these other places. I mean, go there. If that's what you want to live, then go there. But leave us God-loving Christian Americans alone. Just leave us alone. We don't. Hey, we're not. Me and Mitch, and we're not bothered.
I think they're jealous. I don't. I mean, I can't. Why does?
Well, how can this guy be jealous? How can this guy be jealous when he lived here? He grew up here.
Well, I don't necessarily mean him, but
yeah,
all these people across the across the world that hate Americans, and it's like, well, why? Because we're successful, because we work hard, because we save. I think this guy, of course, it's this way with a lot of those, just deranged, man. I think there's mental. What, he'd been divorced 3 times, or
he had some problems. Yeah,
lost his job, and this guy. I mean, other than being a religious zealot, I guess, with Islam, this guy's clearly had problems. But
so the guy in Las Vegas finding out. I mean, after his manifesto that he wrote, he had those weapons in the back, and he shot himself before he sent up his.
Well, and Carolyn and I were talking about that. If you're wanting to make a name of yourself, why drive in front of it, shoot yourself, and blow it up? Why didn't you drive the vehicle through the doors?
Well, I think he stopped himself. I really do. I think he stopped himself. I believe he did. And there's other people that believe he did that as well.
Oh, so you think he had second thoughts?
I think he had second thoughts, and that's why he killed himself. I think he thought about the manifesto he wrote. I think with the explosives that he had on the back wouldn't have done much damage with fireworks.
Yeah.
Fireworks. The same thing with the guy in New Orleans. He had more pipe bombs in the back of his truck.
Yeah.
But the detonators weren't in it, so it didn't make sense. I think what happened in New Orleans is the bombs didn't go off. The guy got upset and decided to take his truck and mow people over.
Yeah.
That's the only thing we come up with. I mean,
Right.
you don't plant pipe bomb. They just didn't go off. They were going to be detonated by phone, and it wasn't hooked up correctly to work. So, and this was an IT guy. You know, this guy was an IT specialist in the Army. Now, one of the things I want to say about this real quick, and then I'll get off the subject because there's one more thing I want to talk about. Both of them guys went to Fort Bragg during the same time. Were all served in Afghanistan in 2009 at the same time. We're in two different units, but they're finding out more and more that there might have been communication between these two guys. So that's one of the things we're not going to find out about right away.
Yeah.
I'd rather not know anything and know everything later than know little bits and pieces and then not know everything by the end. And that's what.
And Senator Kennedy, the morning of the first press conference, I was watching it, and Senator Kennedy you could tell he had a burr up his rear end.
Yeah, he did.
And he kept saying, listen, I promise you, we're going to find out everything that we need to know. And I think he was aiming that at the FBI and maybe even the mayor.
Yeah.
I know the governor was there at the time too.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but he, you could just tell. And then he interrupted at one time and he reiterated that, you know, he was going to make sure he held the FBI accountable for knowing this stuff.
Yep.
And it got me to thinking, Jeff, that, you know, you haven't heard anything about the shooter for the attempted assassination of Trump.
No.
You haven't heard a word.
No.
And I just think it's a huge cover up
from both of them.
Really do.
From both of them. You haven't heard anything about the guy who was in the bushes?
No.
And you haven't heard anything about the guy that actually shot him in the ear that's dead.
Right.
Nothing. Everything gets swept under the rug.
Now we've got a terrorist attack where we're not getting anything.
And here's another thing. This guy posted these threats on Facebook.
Yeah.
So you can't say hell, shit, or damn on Facebook, but you can put on propaganda that says I'm going to go blow things up. And nobody catches that. Now, if I said on the telephone and talk about bomb, you know, or what blowing up or what, you can't say it on a plane. You can't say it, you know,
right.
But this guy can go on social media and try to change the minds of people that are maybe hanging on the edge of becoming ISIS I mean, he had, and what was weird is the next day they were in his house recording everything and I've never seen that before.
And they had already interviewed his family.
Yeah.
In Beaumont. And they said that they'd grown up Muslim, but they didn't believe, you know, that. Yeah. But I don't know. A lot of this doesn't add up. Just like you're saying.
No, it doesn't. And I'm not a conspiracy guy. I'm not at all. Not at all. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm not. But there's a lot that doesn't connect together. If a Lego doesn't fit, it don't fit.
Yeah.
And a Lego ain't fitting here. You know what I mean? You got two size Legos.
Something's going on.
You got a Lego this big, and then you have one this big, and you're trying to get that big one to this little one, and that ain't gonna work. I'm sorry, it doesn't fly with me. I could tell just talking about this. I'm even afraid of talking about sometimes. I really am. Sometimes I get afraid of talking about government stuff, and people saying, "Well, you said this, but we need to talk to you, boy." And this yeah. I mean, it's I don't know. That was one. There's a lot that went on that, you know, the airplane crash out in California and, you know, a lot of Georgia and Notre Dame fans didn't even know anything happened because they were just landing at the airport that day. The game. So a lot of them didn't know what was going on. And nobody.
I guess a lot of them driving in too, I guess.
A lot of them driving in, but
Georgia's not that far.
No, Georgia's not that far. Yeah, Notre Dame's a little farther away. Yeah, to fly into. Georgia. Huh? She's yelling. You hear that yelling going on there?
I hear it.
Yeah, pop. You say pop. All right. She's back. She's back to behaving herself again. Another thing I wanted to bring up, and I haven't, and I should have before, and I didn't know the severity of it was or whatever. But I want everybody to put their prayers out there for Simon DeSoto, who's out there. Who's pretty sick. I got to work with Simon at Happy Radio. I hired him to come in and do the football games for Bay City.
He's in ICU, right?
He's in ICU, and I
On
just
a
see the
ventilator.
post. Yeah, I just see the post from Diana, his wife, and up there. So thoughts and prayers are going out to Simon DeSoto too for getting better. I know what bad health is, and I don't have it that bad, but I don't. It's tough. So just make sure you get the talk to Diana.
He's on our prayer list at church.
Yeah. So make sure you do that, and go on Facebook page and talk to Diana and wish her best as well. Now there was something else, and doggone it, I can't remember. But anyway, all right, let's get to some of this stuff for. Did you have something you wanted to say? Anything?
No.
Okay, so let's get to some of the topics. First of all, I'm just going to fly through these because you and I talked about them earlier a little bit. Any word from the state? No,
but I will. I texted him pretty late. Jeff, I messed up. I'll tell everybody. I messed up. I got crazy busy and it just completely missed my mind.
No, that's fine.
One of the things that I'm asking the TxDOT representative that represents us is, what is the timeline for the lights? They were working on just about every intersection all at once.
Yes.
Blocking the road and tearing sidewalks up, and then nothing. Now, I don't know if they took the holidays off. I don't know how that worked. When I was an employee, I didn't get to take the holidays off. I don't know what their construction company does, but I did reach out to the representative. I'll make sure we get that, and I'll have an answer for you.
Yeah,
I understand we're asking about the chipping of the asphalt on Nichols, which is a state highway.
Yes,
2668. And then the light at the Jack in the Box, I will find out about that as well. And then the other question I have is, what's the timeline? You've done all this work, and there's the corner. I just know because when I did the Christmas parade, that corner there at 60 and 35 in front of the Landmark building, and then in front of Terry Farrah's office, and on the courthouse, all those corners are unsafe, really.
Yeah, they are, because the bricks are laying around there.
Yeah, it really wasn't safe. I put signs out for market days, and I had to be careful that I didn't trip, because I'm getting that age where I want to make sure I don't trip.
Yeah, me too, buddy.
But so yeah, I'll reach out. I'll have something by next Monday to report, and I may even see if the representative can even come on the show. I'll make that offer,
right,
and let him know. And then I tell you what I need to do probably is just get an update. There is a TxDOT statewide meeting coming up. Our county judge Bobby Sieferman sent me a email where they're going to roll out their 2025 projects and kind of fill us in on what projects are planned for Matagorda County, Victoria, all of the counties around us.
Right.
And I will have a report on that as well. Maybe he can report on what's new for 2025.
Yeah.
I know that the mayor and the council have been working every angle to try and get the state to work on a relief route, a bypass. I know that they're wanting help with Now Valley Road, trying to get the state to maybe take that over. I know it's closed again.
Yeah.
Now Valley Road is closed again. I'm not sure. I know why it's closed there in front of Ward Real Estate.
Yeah.
The road was falling apart.
Yeah.
but I'm not sure why the other part is closed. So I'll see if we can get some answers on that.
And the other thing I wanted to say, I remembered what I wanted to say. You know, the last show we did, we had the mayor on the show. I think that was the last show we did, correct?
Yeah, pretty close.
Yeah, I think it was the last show. I want to make this clear as well. Mitch, I asked Mitch to have the mayor on the show to find out about the water department stuff. At no time ever, at no time ever will I have somebody come on the show and try to belittle them or make them feel small. All we have is questions. That's all we have. And we think we call the right people to bring on the show to get the answers that we need. And I assumed, and that's, you blame it on me. It's not Mitch's fault because I'm the one that called him. And I wanted to know the answer to that and to some of the questions that we had. But at no time at all, regardless of how the other person feels or not, I don't bring anybody on this show, nor will I ever bring somebody onto this show out of respect for Mitch and what he does as a representative for the county. I will never bring on somebody on this show to belittle them. It's only to ask questions that you, our viewers, ask. That's it. You know, regardless if they ask me or not, you know, that's why we have this show. They ask me because maybe they're afraid to go to the mayor. Maybe they don't want to talk to the mayor. Maybe they don't like the mayor. I don't know what it is. But if they ask me, I always go over the questions with Mitch. Mitch and I send each other questions during the week, and then we figure out who we're going to have on the show. But not at any time will I ever have somebody on the show to try to belittle them or make them feel small or trapped. Not at all. I feel that all the years that I've been in politics, I've asked the right questions to the right people. I never had a wrong answer. I'd have people that say, "Hey, I'll get back to you and find out on it," or whatever it is. So anyway, I wanted to make that clear.
Well, and I think the mayor was one of the parts that he made I thought was a good idea, and that is, you know, if you're interested in it, the council, the mayor, I know them all personally, just like Jeff does.
Yeah,
they really would like for you to attend council meetings if at all possible.
Yes.
Now I know everybody's busy, and you have to kind of be a political geek to attend everything. The city council meetings are recorded. They're on the city website. I think some of the frustration I think that the mayor feels, and council members as well, sometimes is that people like to complain without doing their homework.
Yes.
And about 80% of what we talk about is that people aren't doing their homework. But they're reading something on Facebook and taking it and running with it. It's just like I had a council member misunderstand what I was saying on the show many weeks ago, where I was talking about that Carolyn and I's personal taxes, property taxes that goes to the city of Bay City is $1,300 a year. And my point was I thought was clear, is that I'm certainly getting $1,300 worth of city services. When you talk about fire protection, police protection, water, streets, roads, what the point I was trying to make, Jeff, and this individual misunderstood, was that when you say I pay enough taxes, I ought to be able to get X, Y, and Z done. The answer really is you don't pay enough taxes to get X, Y, and Z done. You pay your little bit of property taxes, and that doesn't go as far as you think it does.
That's right.
Now, this individual didn't like I posted that on Facebook and didn't like the answers after I posted. Well, I can't really do anything about that, but I can get on this show and say that, well, when you say that I pay so much in city taxes, every street ought to be fixed, I'm telling you, you don't pay enough taxes.
Yeah.
People that are wanting lifeguards on the beach in Matagorda, you don't pay enough county taxes for that.
Correct.
I know you want it, and I know it sounds good and it sounds easy, and I want all my water lines fixed, and I want all the sewer lines fixed, and I want all the street lights fixed, and I want you don't pay enough money for that. People, the council and the mayor, they're juggling. They're jugglers. They're trying to get what little money they're getting from you and make it go as far as humanly possible.
Right.
It's just like the mayor said with the new water well. That's something to the tune of $30 million, and then another $20 million on pipes and valves and crazy stuff like that. And that was a loan, a low interest loan. And that's got to be paid back. And so I thought the mayor did a really good job of explaining what's going on. But this knee-jerk reaction that as much as I pay in my water bill, I ought to get X, Y, Z. I would be very careful, do your homework, because you wouldn't believe it if you really looked and saw what a project costs are. It's not just what you see. It's not just the contractors and the materials. There's been engineers. There's been a study. There's been planning. There's been detailed engineering. Those engineering costs are astronomical. I mean, the engineering before you ever start a project is as much as the project itself. And I know council is debating now over testing different levels of water to see which one they can get the best and the most water from on the well that's going out across the street from Schulman's. That's right down from the new Mexican restaurant that everybody keeps asking why they're not open.
Yeah.
But there's just people, and I think this a lot, and I don't say it as much. People have a misunderstanding of what it takes to see a project through. And they're so myopic. I'll take Church's Fried Chicken, for instance. I did notice there was a Coca-Cola vendor there, so hopefully it's going to open up pretty quick.
Right.
But you don't understand what it means coordinating with contractors, with city inspectors, with vendors, with equipment being delivered on time, the right equipment being delivered. Jeff, you were in the restaurant business. How aggravating is that to order something and wait for it to come in and it's the wrong thing?
The biggest issue is people don't understand the inside to out. They understand the outside in, what it looks like, what it tastes like, what it
ought to be.
Yeah, exactly. But they don't understand that every business out there has to have $1 million in liability coverage.
Right. Okay? Yeah.
That $1 million in liability coverage can cost you anywhere between $1,000 to $3,000 a month alone.
Yeah.
More than possibly your rent or your mortgage is for the business that you own. Then you have to have all your employees covered.
Yeah.
With liability insurance,
workers' comp,
workman's compensation. You have to have the lights, utilities, gas, electricity. Just to give you an idea, Bolera. When I had the Bolera and we were open, that was $1,000 a month. So I got the minimum I possibly could get, $1,000 a month coverage. My workman's compensation for my employees was $600 and some a month, regardless of how many. Up to 10 employees, I think it was.
Okay.
My electricity to run those air conditioners was $3,000 a month.
It gets hot in here in the summer.
Jeff, why do you charge $4.95 for six chicken wings? That's a little too much. It should be like $3. Really? Should be. It's not gonna be. So your soda, your drinks, your vendors, what you have to pay, your license for your liquor. Beer or liquor license, that's $10,000 to $15,000 that you pay, and then you pay that. Then you pay $3,000 or $4,000 every year to that for the 5 years. Then you pay another $10,000 again to do it. It costs a lot of money.
It does.
Now here's what you were explaining a little bit earlier. In layman's terms, I'm going to explain it this way. a lot of people don't understand politics, and that's fine. You don't have to understand politics, but you need to know what the basics are.
Yeah.
And you need to know what the base, where the money goes to. A lot of people say, well, he has a restaurant, he must have a lot of money. Well, that's a city. They got to have a lot of money.
Right.
No, there's a lot of cities that don't exist anymore because they didn't have any money, because nobody wanted to pay any more money to live in that city.
Right.
And there's police departments that have been disbanded because there's not enough money there. I know I was a part of one. There wasn't enough money there, plus of all the other stuff that was in Louisiana, as a matter of fact. So you have to understand that the cost of things in order for somebody, unless I had something in IT, but the restaurant business, did you know, and I want everybody to know, did you know that 80% of all restaurants fail?
Yeah.
80% of all restaurants that start fail. So that means only 20% of them move on. Why is that? Well, that must be bad management or bad location or bad this or bad that. It's a combination of everything. Bad location, bad management, bad ownership, a lot. What I'd like to see, though, are the ones that do exist expand and get better.
Right.
Even the ones that are here in Bay City. Now, I don't live in Bay City, so I can't speak for Bay City, but I'm a part of Bay City. I have a business in Bay City. What I'd like to see is the businesses that we have actually care about their business.
Sure.
I'm getting tired of saying we're in Bay City, we don't have to worry about it, or it's good enough. There is no such thing to me in the food industry as good enough. I'm sorry, it's not, and that's why I'll never get anywhere with trying to teach people how to do things correctly. It's not going to happen. They're going to take shortcuts or save money here, save money there. I can tell you, if you're a business out there and you watch a show or whatever, you want to save money, I'll show you how to save money. But I'll also show you how to market your business, advertise it the right way, train your people the correct way and what to say and what to do. I guarantee you, if there was what's one of those restaurants where people walk in and say, and they have the outfits on and they say, hey, how like Hooters.
Oh yeah.
It would have to, you have to live by a standard. Look at Chick-fil-A. You live by a standard there. That's the way it is. You don't come to
that Seven Brews.
Seven Brews.
He prides himself on their customer service.
Yes.
And I have read, I've not been there yet, but I have read, he is joining the chamber, by the way, and we'll have a ribbon cutting.
Good.
But I did read in so many of the responses on Facebook was what great customer service they had.
Yes.
That's what he prides himself on.
And the thing is, you don't get a lot of positive when it is positive.
Yeah.
You get a lot of negative.
When it's negative.
If you're good, 5 people will hear about it.
Yeah.
If you're bad, the world will know.
Right.
Just the way it works.
Yeah, if I have a bad experience, I'm going to tell 20 people. If I have a good experience, I might tell 1.
Right. And you're sitting there at lunch one day and say, oh, by the way, a couple of weeks ago, I went to this place. It was very good. You should try it. No, I guarantee the next day or the next 10 minutes after you leave that bad experience, you're going to call somebody and say, I
know.
Hey, Donald, get Eric on the phone for me. Yeah, we have a bad experience going on right now. Yeah, but and you're going to tell somebody right away,
right.
Just the way it is.
I know.
But that's business. But no, you cannot take the amount of money that each taxpayer pays or each business or apartment complex or whatever and put it all. We figured it out the one day.
Yeah.
We figured it out. Just take 18,000 people that live in Bay City. If they all paid the same amount of tax, it doesn't work that way.
Well, and the other thing too on the city side is they get sales tax, of course. And so I tell people a lot of times when you drive, you drive to Rosenberg. Now I have to shop other places as well. I'm not belittling anybody, but when we shop in other cities, we're helping them lower their property taxes. Billy Benton's a good friend of mine, the city of Bay City mayor, and he thanks us all the time, not just me, but he says, man, I appreciate all your citizens coming and shopping in my city and leaving me the sales tax.
Yeah. Right.
He said, because that way I can lower the property tax from my residents.
Right.
And it's the same way. Now, one of the things that Jessica is doing extremely well, Jessica Russell with the CDC, is finding those locations where we have tax leakage that we have to go out. Marshall's is a good example. My understanding from Marshall's is they are fulfilling a huge need for our community and capturing sales tax that we would have lost because that product wasn't being sold here.
Yep.
And so what a great opportunity. But when you support local businesses, and Jeff, you and I've talked about this, well, we go to our local businesses for a donation 10 times a day, but yet we won't shop there.
Right.
But I will tell you that it's very, very important and an economic development sense that we spend our tax dollars, our sales tax dollars here. And then the county doesn't get any sales tax at all.
Right.
So the county's living out there on just property tax.
Right.
And some fees,
yes,
which don't add up to really much.
I did get news about I went to Lake Jackson, that was a couple of weeks ago, and I went to Harbor Freight down there because there's one in Lake Jackson. And the ladies, when I come through the line, they always ask you what's your zip code. And I said, 714. She goes, is that Bay City? I said, yeah. She said, we're working on trying to get a location in Bay City. And they are. I found out that they are. That'd be great. Yeah, because it's it's
but nothing. They're looking.
They're looking.
They're fishing. They're shopping. They're so.
Yeah. Yes, they're looking.
And look, I'll be honest. There are 20 franchises looking at us right now. More than 20. Now, I don't think we're going to qualify for all of them. If we get one, it's probably, we nailed Popeyes, and yet they haven't started construction or doing anything.
And Taco Bell.
They've got their drainage permit. There's nothing holding them back.
Right.
Taco Bell's the same way. I spoke to them not too long ago. Oh yeah, Mitch, you're still on our radar. We like the location. They like it right there on Norvell and 35, across the street from the new subdivision. They were excited about the new subdivision.
Yep.
But yet they haven't done anything. Then the church is sat vacant and empty for, I don't know. Now I'm starting to see some construction workers around it. So we've come a long way. We have a long way to go. But believing and supporting each other, I think, is very, very important.
It is. It's hugely important. Anyway,
weather. What are we doing?
Oh, the weather.
What did Andy Kirkland do to us last night?
He turned the temperature down.
It got cold.
Yeah, I told him. I said,
Andy.
He said his refrigerator went out. He had to take the beer, put it outside, and then turn the temperature down to keep it cold. That's what he said. That's what he said. So I'm going by his word. His Miller Lite got to stay cold outside. 30 degrees. That's where it's got to be. We're gonna have a cold night tonight.
Carolyn, what is it going to be tonight, Jeff?
I'll tell you 1 second. You said Carolyn what?
Carolyn said that her son just texted. They're expecting 8 to 11 inches of snow in Dallas.
Yes, they are.
I told him to hunker down.
Yeah, hunker big time, baby. Okay, so here we go. There's a cold weather advisory out for tonight. Tonight's going to be mostly clear.
Now that's new. Tell me about. So that used to be what, a winter storm warning?
Yeah, hazardous weather conditions. Cold weather advisory for tonight.
Okay.
I want to get tonight over with, and then I'm going to get further down the week, which is everybody seems to be more worried about than anything. Tonight, mostly clear with a low of around 26, north winds 5 to 10 miles an hour, so it's not going to be as gusty as it was last night.
Okay.
Tuesday, sunny, high near 51. It's going to feel like it's 800 degrees out tomorrow with a 51 degree. Wind chill values between 20 and 30 early, north wind 10 to 15 miles an hour as well. I'm sorry, 5 to 10 miles an hour Tuesday night, mostly cloudy with a low around 35, so it's going to stay above freezing. Wednesday, cloudy with a high near 44. Another cold front is making its way through. North winds 15 miles an hour with gusts as high as 20. Wednesday night, there's a 20% chance of showers after midnight, cloudy, low around 36. Northeast winds 10 to 15 miles an hour with gusts as high as 20. And Thursday, showers high near 49. Thursday night, showers low around 34. Precipitation on Thursday is 90%. Thursday night, 80%.
Yeah.
And now, right within that
going to be miserable.
Right within that timeline, I'm going to tell everybody, winter weather is harder. And I started taking these little classes that I said I was going to take with Weather Cert, with the National Weather Service. So winter weather is much harder to predict because hot air tends to run along a line up front. Okay, it raises and lowers. Cold air sinks tremendously. How far it goes, it's not, you can't tell. I mean, if cold air, it's like a refrigerator. Ever see a refrigerator open up and you see the steam coming out and it rolls down on the ground? Well, how far is it going to go?
Yeah.
You know, heat, though, on the other hand, rises.
Right.
And you can, it's, you know, wind blows it changes. But cold air is very, very heavy and can run down. Now, I want everybody to stay weather aware, and I'm going to make sure we stay on top of it as well for Wednesday and Thursday with this extra cold air coming in. Rain expected overnight. The lows in the mid 30s right now. It could drop down a little farther. The snow line, everybody talk about the snow line. I would take right now, as we're looking, I-10 and north. Okay, so that's from Houston north right now. Could we get any freezing precip? I don't think so because we're too along the coast and the warm water. The water's still pretty warm, and it that tends to help us a little bit from getting those freezing temperatures.
Yeah, but roads and bridges. I mean, bridges. Roads and bridges are going to need to.
Yeah, especially with winds, and then you have wind chills on top of it. We'll stay on top of that. I know you'll give me something from TxDOT.
We're gearing up and just kind of, you're like you said, just trying to keep everybody paying attention.
But just to give you an idea, and we talked about this before, summer weather, you know, tracking a hurricane, tracking some storms and stuff like that, a little easier to track than cold air. Cold air just tends to drift down and move, meander, and go around just like, you know, how heavy is it? How much cold air is it? It's just like a release, you know, how much. So we don't know. That's the biggest thing. So that's why I said the other night I was going to go live, but I didn't want to change it because the weather actually didn't change. It stayed pretty much the same as what they said they were going to get.
Right.
You know, I'll go on if I see precipitation as far as ice or snow or freezing rain or anything like that. I'll pop on way before it starts and let everybody know, hey, yeah, this is happening. So,
well, and it's important, even though we're not expecting snow, maybe a little ice. It's important because a lot of people listening to our podcast and listening to the radio travels a lot.
Yes.
And you just said, you know, I-10, give or take. I mean, I've got two kids that live right off I-10 in Katy.
Yeah.
And so who knows if we bop up there, you know, overnight. We don't have plans, but you never know with 5 grandkids, with 2 daughters right along I-10, both of them in Katy.
Yeah.
You never know when we're going to head up. So I think it's important for all of us to pay attention.
Yeah.
And to help our neighbors so that, because you may have to, something may happen and somebody needs to drive to College Station for something.
That's right. Yeah. And that's the biggest thing too right now. College Station, Huntsville, up towards Dallas, over towards San Antonio, Austin, all that whole area is under a winter storm watch right now. So that already started tonight at 6:00. So, and they said they were going to, and they did. And I got another email just a few minutes ago from the National Weather Service. So I got to watch the video on it. And do you get those videos as well?
Mm-hmm.
You do the videos from the National Weather Service?
Yeah. The PowerPoints.
Yeah. The PowerPoints. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't get to watch it yet, so I'm going to watch it.
I didn't. I haven't watched it either.
Yeah. It's a change.
You know, for the most part, I will tell you, Amanda's on top of that. She just invokes me when there's a message to come out. I mean, I keep track of it. But she's the one that's really zeroing in on it, making sure that in fact, Friday afternoon, pretty late Friday afternoon, she reached out and said, "Hey, I want something out on people, pets, places." No, what are the 4 P's?
Plants,
people, pipes, plants. Yeah. And so we shot something out. You got that, Jeff, Friday afternoon late.
Yeah, it's on the website.
And so, you know, but thank goodness we've got her. She's watching, and she's the one getting a lot of that. I get it, but I don't study it. It's her responsibility. So I depend a lot on her.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, Andy and I still working with the same people. He's
Good.
got 2 or 3 people, also the National Weather Service, and even our retiree from over there is we're staying on his case too, because he's up at Texas A&M now, so doing some work. But yeah, we got the forecast, and I've been doing some work also with Travis Herzog from ABC. We text each other back and forth every now and then to make sure we're on the same page, and he's pretty gosh darn accurate with all the radars that they got now. With the one over in Edna has helped us a lot. The College
and
Station,
they got one in College Station now.
Yep, the College Station one is going to go online for us very soon too. So,
well, I will tell you, Jeff, talking about the radar and Channel 13, it was really amazing, because when was the first round, the tornadoes that hit El Campo? That was Thursday. I'm losing track. Thursday, yeah, that was Thursday mid-afternoon.
Yeah,
and Carolyn and I were at the barn, and I was working on the pump, and trying to get it running real quick, and it started thundering, and so I went inside. Well, it wasn't another hour. Well, they were predicting tornadic activities before the National Weather Service ever issued anything.
That was Andy just said that was December the 26th.
Okay, the 26th. Yeah, Thursday. That's right.
Yep.
And so it formed probably 20 miles right along that I-59, that I-69, 59 corridor. And I will tell you, we knew. Now we're inside I've got an RV inside a metal building, so it wasn't rocking or anything, but I will tell you, the wind was blowing sideways. It was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But that Edna radar, my point is that Edna radar was picking that stuff up a lot of times for Channel 13 before the National Weather Service was issuing a warning.
Yeah. Andy just texted me all this. All right. Tonight, 27 degrees. The freeze will be 8 to 10 hours.
Okay. Now that's Wharton, right?
No, it's for here.
Oh, here. Okay.
Yeah. Tonight, 27 degrees. Freeze 8 to 10 hours. 1 to 3 inches of rain Thursday. Frozen precip stays well north of I-10. Okay. The depth of the cold air here is what fouls up local forecast. It does. The depth. We were just talking about that, how far down cold air travels.
Yeah.
I-10 west of San Antonio will catch frozen precip late Wednesday through Friday.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So you're going to see a lot of
That's
I-10.
Kerrville, Comfort.
Yeah.
Out that way.
Out that way. That's going to be a mess. Fredericksburg. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Austin, San Antonio, that whole area up there is going to be a little messy. So if you're traveling out that way.
Yeah, if you're traveling, you got to be careful.
Yeah, check in with us. It says we'll get 1 to 3 inches of rain late Wednesday through Thursday in our area. That's what it says. That's what Andy.
Tell him I don't want the cold rain, though.
You don't want the cold rain, Andy? If you could turn off the cold meter I hope you get your refrigerator fixed so your beer stays cold. Okay, that just let you know, Andy.
Yeah, we're not. And I don't know. I didn't order this cold. I know he's got to keep his beer cold, but come on.
I think
27. That beer's gonna freeze, Andy.
No, that's man, that's a good temperature.
Oh, is that good beer?
27 to 30 degrees. He'll tell you. He knows more about beer than the weather. I'll tell you that.
Well, I guess it is alcohol, so it is hard.
He knows. And he knows.
And he knows.
Warm rain permits. Terry, just put it up there. Warm rain permits.
All right. Well, that's
warm rain, cold beer. There we go.
We do need the rain. We've been under the burn ban. I know a lot of people were bitching about the burn ban staying on.
Yeah. Now,
but is Andy, are they still under the burn ban?
Yeah, Andy, you're still under the burn ban up in Orange.
I know we're off. I know Jackson County's off.
Brazoria is off.
Brazoria off. Okay.
Yes. Brazoria was burning there the other day.
Yeah. So, but we do need the rain is my point. And 1 to 3 inches seems like that's going to be a good soaker.
Wharton out of burn ban.
Okay. That's what I thought. So we're all out of our burn ban.
Yeah.
I noticed.
Thank God, because I got stuff we need to burn.
Yeah, I know a lot of people were. In fact, when Carolyn and I, where'd we go just recently? It looked like they were doubling up on a lot of what they were burning.
Yeah. By the way, I'm sorry, excuse me, a new sponsor for this year.
Oh, excellent.
Yes, we got a new sponsor for us here at the radio station and for this show and them. Great Dr. Simons. Everybody knows, a lot of people know Dr. Simons and them guys. Yeah. Medical Arts clinic is going to be helping us sponsor everything we've been doing on the radio, and they're doing a great job. Also, I think the winds have been too high to legally burn. That is true. Yeah, that's why I didn't start the fire down where I wanted to go. But they got some big fires going on down around Palacios area. I'll tell you that. You can see the smoke. Right. One of the things I am going to start doing, which I haven't done in a while, but I'm going to start doing this year. I'm getting back out to DJing parties and karaoke and having fun, doing a little comedy with the DJing and stuff. I stopped doing it only health wise, but I found out going the other way was a little worse than me just going out to some place where I can sit down and stand up once in a while and have a good time. So we're going to get back. And then the video, we're getting very, very big into video this year. So a lot of things are going to be, we're going to do different shows. That's what we're going to try to, folks with the Chamber of Commerce, if you're a Chamber of Commerce member, we want to do a 2-minute segment, 2 to 3 minute segment with you about your business. And then every week, we're going to play it right here on Inside Texas. So we're going to take that 2-3 minutes, and it costs you nothing. All we're going to do is go in and interview you and your business and what you do, and it's going to be like a 2 to 3 minute infomercial on yourself. Now you got to be a chamber member in order to do it, and after that, we're going to start going around and seeing if folks want to do it and getting you up there. So it'll all be on our website at gcor1.com. Yeah, that's what we want to start doing. If you remember that, only because Mitch is a pretty nice guy. If you ask his wife, she doesn't think so. I think he's okay, but you don't ask her. Don't go to Carolina and ask her. Anyway, it's to help out, be a part of the chamber.
Sure.
Some people say, well, what am I getting from the chamber? Well, this is a great opportunity for you because you got to get a 3-minute infomercial. And it's going to be pasted on our website and Facebook and Twitter and Tweaky and Naki and Nuki and wherever else you can.
And China's got it. China will be playing it over there.
That's right. China will be playing it on Twitter, on TikTok. That's right. On TikTok.
Everything we do is played over there, I hear.
Right. So if you get a busload of Chinese people that come to your business, walk up with the cameras on, going, "Oh, also y'all talking like that." It's because we did it.
We did it on TikTok.
We did it on TikTok.
That's exactly right.
But yeah, we're getting that stuff's coming. All the equipment's coming. Well, a lot of it's here already, but some of the equipment's coming. We're really going to do it. We're going to do drone footage, and I have some other stuff.
That sounds fun.
It's going to be it. It's what I know. It's what I want to retire with. I just want to do the radio, make sure everybody's happy with the radio and stuff like that. We're still changing music, sticking more 70s, 80s, 90s music back in the day when we were growing up as kids, what we were listening to. So all the top stuff. I have thousands and thousands of songs, and it's very hard to pull one out. They go, how the heck did that get in there? Just pull it out. So we go through them. But 22,860 songs that we have
boy,
in our repertoire. So we're gonna fix it. But
Carolyn hadn't complained about your choices lately. There was that one time she said, "Ask Jeff, what is he doing?"
Well, tell her I'm opening up a new station. It's gonna be 24 hours of rap, and it's just for
she would love the rap. Yeah,
we're gonna call it www.carolinesmusic.com.
There you go.
Yeah. Yo.
Neil Diamond now. Just played nothing but Neil Diamond songs.
Oh, Neil Diamond. See, I sing Neil Diamond. I do Neil Diamond.
Oh, well, she loves Neil Diamond.
Oh, see, now if I would have known that, Mitch, I would have sang to her. You would have had a better time at the trailer.
I know. Well, that's when she's mowing.
There we go. She's listening. She's probably listening. Where it began, I can't begin to know. And
she puts those earplugs on, and she's off on her tractor.
Oh, Neil Diamond, the man. Yep. Song blue. Everybody knows one.
You missed your calling.
I did. Yeah, I was going to be a bird. Back in the day, they said, we're going to hire you as a bird.
There you go.
All right. We're over time.
All right.
Oh, you want to do something next? Or
no? We'll save mine for next Monday.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No.
Yeah, I have them right here. So next Monday, we'll talk about what will it take to get a quiet zone.
Yeah, next Monday, let's talk a little bit about the quiet zone. There's a study going on right now. And then the House Speaker's race is coming up pretty quick.
Right.
Next Monday, let me think if
school vouchers.
That'll be the day before they vote. So we'll talk a little bit about the Speaker's race.
Yep.
And we'll talk a little bit about our state rep and our state rep elect. That'll soon be our state rep.
Yep. Okay.
And then we'll just fill up next week. And then, school vouchers. I want to talk a little bit about.
Yep.
I want to go into depth a little bit with school vouchers.
Yep. We got
next Monday.
All right. Very good. All right, guys. On behalf of myself, Jeff Michaels, and the lovely and talented Mitch Thames, thanks for watching Inside Texas. And we'll see you next Monday night at 7 o'clock.